Goes live. Welcome, my friends. You are on Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise DiGregoli. Every week, we spill the beans. It's a show designed to help you move forward in work, love, and life. Who doesn't need that? If you just found me, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. This is where I interview some fascinating people from all walks of life, well-known to not so known, entrepreneurs, creatives, performers, and athletes, forward-thinking people that have found silver linings in their fiascos and their challenges. And hey, we laugh along with it. It's real, it's fresh, designed in short formats, authentic, unedited, because we're busy and we got things to do. So today's a little bit different. My fabulous intern from a university here in Fairfield, Olivia, she has brought to my attention that we've been getting a lot of questions since we launched the pod back in early November. And she said, a lot of people are writing in on social or on our website and asking different questions. So today's episode is a fun episode. I guess I'll be interviewing myself based on Olivia's request. So she put together some of these cool cue cards. The first question was, how do you take your coffee? Super dark roast. The darker, the better. I needed to, lift me up in the morning, grow some hair here and there. Dark coffee. I think I grew up on coffee. Coffee was like always a form of clarity. The best conversations, the best times happened over laughter with family, friends. So yeah, dark roast. I would have to tell you the truth is I probably have 5-6 coffees a day. I'm trying to get it down. It's moving right along from that terrible omission. What is your favorite quote? Well, I have two. One comes from one of my grandmothers, and she would always say, Denise, if you want to be a success, first you need to make someone else a success. And so that's sort of like the pinnacle and the foundation of all my work. And the second one is by Zig Ziglar. He'd say, motivation doesn't last, neither does bathing. That's why we do it daily. Really a favorite. Ooh, how did you sneak this one in, Olivia? How did you get the nickname Mav? Ava's friends dom me Mav. Ava's my only child. In 7th grade, 8th grade, I don't know. They were lamenting over something. Somebody was complaining about Ava's unibrow and how it wasn't attractive. And of course, my antlers went up. And I was like, wait a minute. Our unibrow is our superpower, okay? No, we're not taking it off. We're not waxing it. And by the way, I think you're 13, so no. And, tell that girl and her mom that, one day you're going to have to tattoo it back on anyway. So leave it alone. And I was so forthcoming that one of the girls at the kitchen table said, oh my gosh, Ava, your mother is a savage. And it became Maverick, Mav, Mom, Savage, Mav. So, Mav is, Mav's going to tell you how she feels. And that's how we brought it to the podcast, because Mav and clarity and coffee all went together. Ooh, who's my biggest influence? Now, is that in movies? Olivia didn't give me a specification here. In family, so many great influences in my family, of course, would be my grandmothers. On the big screen, I love Lucy, my biggest influence. She worked with her husband. I work with mine. We laugh a lot. It's not, we started off a little later in life having children. I would say that. And one of my best influences, of course, is my spouse and business partner, Troy. So that's the short list. Olivia, you got to give me more specifics there. What is my morning routine? Other than coffee? Well, I wake up, I do some stretching. I think a morning routine is critical, my friends. I do the daily drive, which is an active meditation. I write things down. I'll talk to you about that another time. And I move, and I try to set the visualization for the day. And I do it every single day, believe it or not. Doesn't it always work out? Most of the time. Did someone really ask this question? Who would I play in a movie? Probably myself. Well, I'm a big fan of Lucy. I'm a big fan of Cher. I'm a big fan of Lily Tomlin, somewhere in that genre. Why? Because I love their sense of humor, and I love how they wrap humor into working in the real world and use it in business. But yeah, probably play myself. No one else could play my character. What's something surprising I've learned about myself? Believe it or not, my friends, this is the truth. I was very, very shy up until probably sophomore year of high school. So I learned that, it's okay to express yourself. That's probably what I learned early on. And as a business lady, having run several businesses, I've learned, you're going to hear it on a couple of my episodes with my recent guests. Say yes and allow other people to feel like they matter in your life and just move forward. So I learn something new every day, and I'd recommend you do that too. My star sign? Who asked that? Who asked my star? It's everybody know what the zodiac is. Okay. Well, star sign, that's when you're born, right? And you're born on a certain day in a certain month. There's 12 signs. And there's personality traits assigned for those of us that don't know what a star sign is. I guess, did we really get that? I'm a Gemini. And yes, I am the dual personality sign. So Troy might tell you he never knows, is it his soulmate or his cellmate? But in general, it brings a lot of creativity to the table. Wouldn't you say, Olivia? She's shaking her head yes, as she's kind of moving her chair back. Where did it grow up and how did it affect you? Do I seem affected? Not infected, but affected. I grew up in Western Massachusetts. It's a wonderful place. Google it. It's the Berkshires. I grew up in a small town called West Stockbridge. Population 1,800. I think it's the same population right now. What I loved about it was real and authentic, kind of like the show. Back in the day when I grew up there were a lot of farmers. It wasn't the would-be haven of cultural experiences in the way it is now. Yes, we had Tanglewood, we had Jacob's Pillow, we had Chesterwood, and, the home of Norman Rockwell. So there was always a lot of culture, but it was very, very understated. Now it's like going to the Hamptons. What I loved about it was I grew up eating out of an organic garden. I learned how to plant. I learned how to harvest. I can't say I was excellent at it, but I learned. I learned how to crochet, cook. Spent a lot of time with family. It's very family-oriented there. And even to this day, if you roll in there and people don't know you and you break down or you need a meal, somebody's going to help you out. So it affected me in a very positive manner. I bring a lot of that to the table no matter where I go. I live down closer to the city now, so the town I live in is about 60,000 people. It's a far cry different. Yes, we have to lock our doors, and yes, we have to wear our seatbelts. In the Berkshires, you don't. You can flip-flop in the back seat, and nobody will know the difference. I absolutely love it. And 2 years ago, we bought a second home there for a second location, so we have another art studio there, and I do interviews out of the Berkshires, one of my favorite places, and we go on location too. Okay, I got off the question there a little bit, Olivia. She's looking at me like, stick to the question. What's a common myth about my job or industry? Well, am I talking too long? Not too bad. I think as an entrepreneur, depending on where you are in your career, people think you either have it really good or really bad. I don't think there's a myth about my job other than if you're not into it, it looks like too much or too hard, of a thing for you to do. When you have an entrepreneurial mindset or a growth mindset, everything you do kind of just flows creatively into the next thing. The common myth is I love everything I do. Yes, I love everything I do with the exception of bookkeeping. I absolutely hate that. But I do it. And there's parts of being an entrepreneur you absolutely need to do. Industry, there's too many ums there. Right when we go to translate this into a transcript, you're going to hear me going, because I wasn't prepared for these questions. She kind of just sprung it on me. We didn't even have a scheduled interview for today. Anyway, so job and industry. The entertainment industry is fiercely competitive, like the sporting industry, like any creative industry, and you just have to be prepared for it. There's days that you feel like a great success, and there's days you feel like you need someone like Olivia to tell you, no, it's going to be okay. Keep doing it. Or someone like Troy or Ava. So the myth is it's not all unicorn and butterflies. And then the other myth is, and now here comes the Gemini, it is all unicorn and butterflies. It's how you approach it and how you think about it. But being an entrepreneur is challenging because you have to be able to deal with feast and famine, the highs and the lows, and then take the lows and translate those in your mind to future opportunities. I don't know if that's a myth. That's just a lecture from me. Okay. What's next for Mav? Oh, we have so much planned over here. I'm surprised Olivia didn't give me any cue cards here on this. Well, we're expanding this podcast. We film in Fairfield, we film in Sheffield, we film on location, and we film on Zoom. And we want to be live in theaters. That's what's next. So you can see a live interview and maybe sip some coffee in the audience, maybe a nice cannoli, and enjoy coffee clarity conversations, kind of like from a comfort zone of listening. We are actively working with some new sponsors, working on finding those venues that fit for us. Mav wants to go to Sicily for her 25th wedding anniversary. Can you plug that to Troy, please? And turning a special decade, 30. Let's go with that. Thinking of parking myself on a beach for a few days there. And we're really looking forward to expanding this into helping people grow to their potential, right? Do we have any other questions? I don't think so. Is that it, Olivia? She's giving me the nod. Okay, my friends. So guess what? I just spilled some of my beans. This was kind of fun, I have to say. It's a quick in and out. Thanks for your questions. You can put more questions in at the contact page at DeniseDiGrigoli.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Now on Instagram, it's Denise DiGrigoli and Mav's Coffee Clarity, because I offer some consulting services too. So we have a couple of things going on. Please send more questions in. And if you like and share, we would really appreciate it. We're working on 5,000 listeners by, can we say, like the summer. All right, my friends, you've been on Mav's Coffee Clarity. Thanks for spilling the beans with me. Peace out. Mav's got to get back to work.